What's up, y'all? Good morning, good morning. Yo, I ain't finna do no talking. But this video, it's gonna be a little different. So let me go ahead and get my intro out the way. And I'm gonna explain to y'all what this video is about. Yo, man, it's Mr. 3, Mr. Peace, Love, Positivity. And I'm back at it with another reaction. And I'm back like I never left. Alright, that's the intro. So let's get down to, why I'm doing this video and what this is about. So this video is about mental health, right? And all the different things that goes along with mental health. No matter if it's anxiety, suicide, like all these different things about the body and the mind. Y'all know this channel is strictly about y'all and what I feel like my subscribers need, as well as being able to primarily help y'all get through rough times and let y'all know that depression is out there, anxiety is out there, and all of it coincide with my 3, peace, love, and positivity. Because if we had these 3, mental illness wouldn't be heavy and rampant as it is today. So love y'all. I put this, putting this little video out. Ask questions in the comments. Hey, I just gotta put this video out. Like, subscribe, hit that bell. Let's get it. Cursing mental health. Curring.
So there is no greater financial or societal challenge to governments around the world than mental health disorders. Disorders such as depression, Alzheimer's disease, and other neuropsychiatric disorders rob the individual and society of mental capital and well-being. 1 in 4 of us suffers from a mental health disorder. Problems of Alzheimer's disease, schizophrenia, depression, mania, all of these disorders impact on our cognitive functioning. And this consequently impacts on our ability to look after things in our home and also to work effectively. So we need to detect early. We need to detect these disorders early and treat effectively early on. And we can do this with modern technology such as iPads, and also we have neuroimaging technology that we can use. And this will help us. And it's especially important to detect early for Alzheimer's disease, because we are developing neuroprotective agents which will stop the disease process itself. So we want to put these drugs into people before the brain damage is done, where they can still function in their home life and also have a good work environment and do well at work. Well, we have 2 forms of cognition. One is cold cognition and the other is hot cognition. And cold or rational cognition helps us make most of our decisions in daily life. And hot cognition helps us with social decisions and emotional decisions. And we can measure cold cognition objectively. And we can see that when we do this, it activates a neural network in the brain, which importantly includes dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And in hot cognition, we can see that that involves a different neural network, which includes orbital frontal cortex. Well, both hot and cold cognition can be affected in neuropsychiatric disorders, such as depression. And this is one of the problems for people being able to work. And that's why there's so much absenteeism when people are depressed, or when they come back to work, there's presenteeism. Well, we have some drugs that can treat some of the cognitive symptoms that we see in some disorders, such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. So for instance, Ritalin or methylphenidate helps with some of the attentional disabilities that people have with ADHD. But it doesn't treat the whole range of cognitive symptoms, and we need more novel drugs which will be more effective and treat all of the range. So episodic memory problems that we see in Alzheimer's disease, problems with cognitive flexibility, and also we need treatments for impulsive behavior, which can get us into trouble. So although we have some good drugs, we need better drugs. Well, there's a new area called neuroethics. And neuroethics is concerned with how new discoveries about the brain will affect our society. And I'm particularly interested in two aspects of neuroethics. One is the stigma attached to mental health problems. And the other is the increasing lifestyle use by healthy people of these cognitive enhancing or smart drugs. And we have to ask ourselves as a society, why are healthy people using these drugs? Why do they feel the need? Is it the pressure and stresses on us in our daily life and the global environment that we're working in that lead people to use these drugs? And in our studies, we have shown...
Rag? I just got one. Right there. Yeah, that's it, though.
Shown that people use them to counteract jet lag and exhaustion. They use them to get the competitive edge in the global environment. And they also seem to make tasks that are somewhat repetitive or less interesting seem more pleasurable. So there's this range why people use them. But governments need to promote good diet and exercise and lifelong learning, because we know that exercise and lifelong learning will promote neurogenesis in the brain, and this is the way we can promote good brain health. But also we can use new technology, these iPads. We can do cognitive training using iPads to ensure that we have good cognitive function, and we can turn them into games. So we need to promote good brain health across the lifespan so we have resilience, a flourishing society, which is very important. And we need to start early because many of the mental health disorders start before the age of 24 years. So really, we need governments to realize that mental health is every bit as important as physical health, and that through these new technologies, we can promote good brain health for all members of society. And this in turn will stop these debilitating disorders becoming chronic and lifelong, and will obviously help the economy. So my question to you is, how can we ensure that we detect these disorders early and we treat them effectively? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Kenworthy and welcome to the short tutorial on your brain on anxiety and stress. It is essential to know how our brain responds to the stimuli which trigger an anxiety response so that you are equipped to deal appropriately with anxiety. Let me highlight the key areas of your brain that are involved, and then I will explain what happens inside the brain. The thalamus is the central hub for sights and sounds. The thalamus breaks down incoming visual cues by size, shape and colour, and auditory cues by volume and dissonance, and then signals the cortex. The cortex then gives raw sights and sounds meaning, enabling you to be conscious of what you are seeing and hearing. And I'll mention here that the prefrontal cortex is vital to turning off the anxiety response once the threat has passed. The amygdala is the emotional core of the brain, whose primary role is to trigger the fear response. Information passing through the amygdala is associated with an emotional significance. The bed nucleus of the stria terminals is particularly interesting when we discuss anxiety. While the amygdala sets off an immediate burst of fear, the BRST perpetuates the fear response, causing longer-term unease typical of anxiety. The locus coeruleus receives signals from the amygdala and initiates the classic anxiety response: rapid heartbeat, increased blood pressure, sweating, and pupil dilation. The hippocampus is your memory center, storing raw information from the senses, along with emotional baggage attached to the data by the amygdala. Now we know these key parts, what happens when we are anxious, stressed, or fearful? Anxiety, stress, and of course fear are triggered primarily through your senses. Sight and sound are first processed by the thalamus, filtering incoming cues and sent directly to the amygdala or to the cortex. Smell and touch go directly to the amygdala, bypassing the thalamus altogether. This is why smells often evoke very powerful memories or feelings. Any cues from your incoming senses that are associated with a threat in the amygdala, whether that threat is real or not, current or not, are immediately processed to trigger the fear response. This is the expressway. It happens before you consciously feel the fear. The hypothalamus and pituitary gland cause the adrenal glands to pump out high levels of the stress hormone cortisol. Too much cortisol short-circuits the cells of the hippocampus, making it difficult to organise the memory of a trauma or a stressful experience. Memories lose context and become fragmented. The body's sympathetic nervous system shifts into overdrive, causing the heart to beat faster, blood pressure to rise and lungs to hyperventilate. Perspiration increases and the skin's nerve endings tingle, causing goosebumps. Your senses become hyper-alert, freezing you momentarily as you drink in every detail. Adrenaline floods to the muscles, preparing you to fight or run away. The brain shifts focus from digestion to focus on the potential dangers, sometimes causing evacuation of the digestive tract through urination, defecation or vomiting. Heck, if you're about to be eaten as someone else's dinner, why bother digesting your own? Only after the fear response has been activated does the conscious mind kick in. Some sensory information takes a more thoughtful route from the thalamus to the cortex. The cortex decides whether the sensory information warrants a fear response. If the fear is a genuine threat in space and time, the cortex signals the amygdala to continue being on alert. Fear is a good, useful response essential to survival. However, anxiety is a fear of something that cannot be located in space and time.
That's why most times when people go to the hospital, they're like, I feel something wrong with me. I feel like something wrong with me. And then when you finally go dealing with stress or anxiety, the people at the hospital can never technically tell you what's wrong with you. Like, never can. Like, you can dealing with not being able to eat, not being able to sleep. They're dealing with a whole bunch. And then when you get to the hospital and you get scanned, they be like, man, you know, you're fine. You're healthy. You're alright. But you saying inside your head, I don't feel alright. Something going on. I'm not eating. I'm not sleeping. You know what I'm saying? I can't stop worrying. Congratulations. That's either stress or anxiety. I mean, there's all types of stress. You got de-stress, stress, all the type of stuff. But I want to put this on the channel to bring awareness to you guys. It started off as a little small, I call it the snowball effect. It started off with something real, real small. And as time go on, it gets bigger and bigger. And before you know it, you're either going to end up turning up on somebody, or you end up fighting or flighting like what they talking about. End up turning up. You ever seen somebody be real, real quiet in the classroom and they really never say that, and they be real, real quiet, and as time go on, they end up keep getting bullied over and over and over, and then eventually they just end up either turning up on everybody in the classroom, shooting up the whole school, or they end up just going missing and end up killing themselves. Fight or flight. Or they go back to stress and anxiety and depression the same way. But I'm gonna let the rest of I think I'm gonna do like part 1, part 2, part 3. Like I said I was gonna do. The first part is about stress and anxiety. The next part is gonna probably be about depression. And the last thing gonna be about the different traumas and, you know, how can we grow from here, you know. So
most often, it is that indefinable something, triggered initially by something real that you sense, but that in itself is not threatening, but it is associated
and due to COVID right now, everything on a hiatus.
With a fearful memory, and the bed nucleus of the stria terminals perpetuate that fear response. Anxiety is a real fear response for the individual feeling anxious, and anxiety can be debilitating for the sufferer. Now that you know how anxiety happens in your brain, we can pay attention to how we can deliberately use our prefrontal cortex to turn off an inappropriate anxiety response once a threat is passed.
Y'all see that, right? Let's talk about, if we're gonna go to the next one, then we'll just leave the next one for the next day.
When one speaks about the brain, neurons come to mind, and more specifically the complex network of electrical signals that's traveling constantly throughout the brain. And all brain functions do depend on this communication network, and we saw that in the previous.
This is what I'm gonna do, y'all. This is what I'm gonna do for y'all. just gotta be obedient. Take time out. Get off the schedule. If you're on a busy schedule, sometimes that can cause anxiety. So let's get it. Let y'all see this. This is why I'm getting this. All these ads. Okay. See it? Remain a positive attitude. You see that? Welcome humor. You see that? That is why I do what I do on this channel. See that? Y'all gonna see a lot of that on each thing that we do. Depression, anxiety. I'll just go back to what I'm doing on my channel to help kill those triggers. What the world? Where did this go? Okay, there it is. But I just wanted to show y'all the keys. So if y'all still y'all want to know basically what can I do? What can I do? I just want to lead y'all here to show y'all what could y'all do. Make sure y'all get enough sleep. Y'all exercise daily. Y'all take y'all some deep breaths, you know. Welcome humor. Start to laugh more often, you know. A laughter a day keep the doctor away. Bye, man. This has been King Zero, Mr. Peace, Love, Positivity. Listen, if you ain't getting that from this video, and the reason why I'm putting this video out is to let y'all know, the people that don't believe in this stuff for the mental illness, to let y'all know, number one, that this is real. Number two, this is no game. It will take you up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen countless and countless of celebrities killing themselves due to stress and anxiety, panic attacks, and the stress has been going out the roof. I just want to put this video out here. In my opinion, I feel like it comes from sometimes not living in the moment, but planning in the future ahead, and be worrying if you are on, like, you prepared or not prepared. Most anxieties come from that. Most worrying come from that. Even can come from a partner. Like, it's deep. And triggers in your head too, like your childhood, all that stuff can play a major role when it comes down to your anxiety and stressing and all that stuff. So y'all gotta stop stressing, man. We are built to conquer. I ain't trying to be religious on y'all, but we are more than conquerors. King Zero. That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna be super spiritual on y'all, but I believe that we have everything we need in order to do what we gotta do. But this has been King Zero. Look forward to seeing y'all on the next documentary. And people with anxiety, I'm praying for y'all to continue to keep water around you, peace, taking long breaks, you know, getting out your head. I love you. We're gonna get through it. I may just make a video of laughter after this video. It depends on where the Most High lead me to, because he made me put this video out for somebody. So I'm done, y'all. Thank you for the support. Thank you for, if you're new to the channel, thank you for checking me out. Thank you if you got this far. I always say peace, love, positivity. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. More content coming like this as well. I just want to give a shout out. Thank you for the Royal family. Shout out to the Royal gang. Shout out to, of course, God. Shout out to my wife. And I got some news coming for y'all real soon. And we out of here. Okay.